in 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the KD Ratio. It's your designated podcast for all things nerd.
Damn right.
My name is Kyle, and with me tonight, you heard their voices already, but put it together for...
I'm Billy.
And I'm Billy.
And I'm Billy.
And together,
We are
Billy
William.
cubed.
Yeah, together.
We make William. we have evolved. That's about the dumbest intro yet. Here we go.
But
All right.
but I'm Dylan and Billy and Kyle.
And Billy really is Billy, and I'm
Yeah.
Kyle. So we are going to jump right into it because I know Dylan is just itching.
Chomping
He
at the bit.
wants to talk about it. He's spazzing out. What happened today, Dylan?
There was a state of play, and I can tell you I am excited for
It was 5 hours long.
It was 5 hours long, and it was amazing gameplay for all 5 hours.
Yeah,
it
only
was-
gameplay, no trailers.
Yeah, no trailers.
Yeah,
it was
absolutely.
amazing. No, it was only 20 minutes long.
22 minutes.
And the game I'm looking really forward to is Ronin. You know,
Out of left field.
You threw me for a loop there for a second. I'm like, wow, really?
no, Ronin.
2024.
I do think it looks
Which
decent.
means 2025.
We'll see, because Team Ninja, they're pretty good. But I was hyped out of my seat for God of War. Oh,
Did you see that like all the different like skills and weapon art? Oh my god.
it looks so good. And I mean, I watched that video probably 4 or 5 times.
What about Thor?
And Thor, I love too. It isn't spoiled. They haven't spoiled it. Like, I know some story beats maybe, but it isn't like
What if that's just like the Norse? How you doing?
Well, yeah, and that could be the
you
game's going to
doing?
be huge because they say they're going to wrap up the Norse saga in this game, and we get to hear Tyr talking for the first time. We hear Odin. He sounds cool. Sounds like an old dude. We get to see Thor fighting Kratos when the hammer and the axe meet. Oh,
Good stuff, man.
it looks so good. And the variation of enemies. Did you guys notice that? There's so many.
I was surprised, actually.
Yeah. So what are you guys' thoughts on the state of play and God of War?
No PC, no play for me.
I don't know why, but like when you did that just now, like it made me think of like Nacho Libre. Like, I don't know.
These are my stretchy pants.
Chancho. Give me some sweats.
That's such a silly movie, dude.
Fucking juke ass Jack Black.
I know.
As, like a
Nacho
luchador.
Libre.
Such a weird choice. But anyways, I digress. I think it was good. It was really short. State of play itself was underwhelming for me. I feel like there could have been a lot more. But moving more into the God of War stuff, I mean, it's a little early, but it's Game of the Year contender material. It looks so good. For anyone that played God of War 2018, like you know the amount of hype that you should be right now.
Mhm.
And I'm excited. I'm super excited. I'm more excited now than I was actually because it kind of petered off a bit because I haven't really been looking anything up. And now it's back up. It's back up to that level again.
And just it's coming out soon too, which helps with the hype.
November 9th, correct?
I think, yeah.
Yeah. Is that a weekday? Like a Tuesday?
It's probably a Thursday like usual.
Thursday.
Yeah.
So people could take Friday off and beat
Sometimes they come out on Tuesdays.
Might be a Tuesday.
it. Elden Ring, I think, dropped on a Tuesday, if I recall.
On a Tuesday.
It's going up on a Tuesday, man.
But
Again, I've never played a God of War game. And,
It's a Wednesday.
yeah.
By the way.
I've watched them. I loosely understand the lore and the idea of what's going behind it. I can certainly appreciate the fan base and how much they are in love with that game. What number is this?
this is
12th?
Yeah, but it's 2 in the soft reboot.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go in playing.
This is a reboot,
It's
Yeah,
a
we've talked about this
soft
before.
reboot. It's a continuation.
but it has like the whole Thor thing wasn't a part of the
No.
other one, right?
So, well, it's a soft reboot in that it's been years since Kratos left Greece. He was in Greece and he killed all the gods like the original games. But it's been years, and
Yeah.
you play it more. The first game, especially, you play it more from Atreus' perspective. Of Kratos doesn't really want to talk about the past because he's not proud of it, and so you don't really know. Like if you were playing it for the first time, you're like Atreus who's trying to find out the history of Kratos.
But really, it's a soft reboot to not necessarily the story, but the gameplay.
Gameplay, yeah.
It plays.
Okay.
It's drastically different. It's more slow. It's clunkier, but
More personal.
it's more personal. And it's. I would argue that it feels heavier. Like it feels like there's more weight to your punches in that, which is crazy because in the first 3 games you're literally fighting, Kronos,
Yeah.
and Zeus, and it's wild, but it's definitely a product of its time. It's very arcadey versus this feels more grounded. So it's a soft reboot to the gameplay and the mechanics. The story is, I don't know, I wouldn't call it a reboot, but it's very far removed from the OG trilogy for sure.
And they did that on purpose so that new fans aren't too lost, but it still gives you.
Too shell shocked, yeah.
You
Yeah.
could easily play God of War 2018 in this one without having ever played the other ones,
Yeah,
and you would get along just fine.
Is it releasing for PS4s or is it only PS5?
It's PS4 too.
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But
it looked great on PS4. God of War 2018.
Mhm.
So, they're gonna. The smart move would be for Sony to release stuff to PS4 as much as they can, because otherwise,
People have struggled to get PS5s.
right,
Mhm.
and it's going to be more controversy
Yeah.
if they're like, now you can't even play your games. You
Well,
can't
and
even pick up.
Yeah. I mean, not that this really applies to God of War, but, at some point you could just ditch the support for PS4. And, if you were going to
Yeah.
do a
well, that's what
DLC
Cyberpunk did.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
that's the point I was making was it's been, Cyberpunk is moving that way. Not necessarily that's the right direction, but that is a direction now that we've seen, just dropping support. So you still get your game.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, if people on PS4, even if they don't have support on Cyberpunk, they still have a game.
Yep.
Like, it's just they miss out on updates.
Now how playable that game is at launch, I don't know. But now it's definitely doable.
It's more doable. It changed my life.
Well,
I'm just kidding. No, yeah. So on another note, I think it's pretty safe to get hyped for a game like this because they have such a phenomenal track record, especially for first party exclusives.
And another reason I'm fine being hyped right now is that there's not it's not like they're reinventing the game again like they did with coming up with 2018 God of War. This one is very much a continuation of the gameplay of the story. So it's less of a gamble because I know I really like the gameplay and I know I love the story and it's just more of that. Rather than, when you have like a new IP or a remake or something, you're not sure if it's going to be the same.
Right.
So I'm hyped, ready to do it, and they choose epic voice lines for that trailer. I love the death one.
yeah, who is who not Kratos, the other voice. Who's the voice actor for that? It's a very recognizable voice.
For who? For
Who?
In the State of Play God of War
Odin?
trailers. Was it Odin?
Or Tyr. Tyr talks a little bit at the beginning, and then it switches to Odin. They sound kind of similar.
Whoever talked the most.
That's probably Odin.
Okay. I like that voice. I know who that is, but he's an actor. I don't think he's
pull it up here.
I don't think he's a
real quick.
dedicated voice actor, but I was like, oh wow, that's very talented. Didn't take away from anything. It was like, oh, this is good.
Richard Schiff.
Ah,
Let's see.
what work has he done? Do we know?
Yeah, I don't know. Have you ever watched The Good Doctor?
Yes.
He plays Dr. Aaron.
Okay. Yeah.
That's like the older guy.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That's why I
who's-
know him. Yes.
Mhm.
Yep.
He's Odin.
He's Odin.
West Wing, Arrival. Yeah. Johnny English.
Ah,
That's where I know him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's a good actor for sure. And then they got Ryan Hurst, of Sons of Anarchy fame,
as Thor, right?
playing Thor.
Yeah.
So
that'll be good.
That should be pretty cool. I don't know if you guys watch Sons of Anarchy, but Ryan Hurst played a very stereotypical biker type guy, but he has like this very commanding persona when he talked, and so I think he's a perfect choice for Thor.
Well, yeah, I mean, in the previous trailer they had Thor talk, and it sounded perfect because it's like intimidating, but also like
Gentle.
not gentle, no, but it's like it's forceful, but he's like trying to be nice. And
Yeah.
you can tell it's cool.
Yeah, it wasn't like all grovel, no.
Yeah, because he says, "You seem like a reasonable and calm man. Are you a reasonable and calm man?" It's like, ooh.
If those aren't fighting words,
Yep.
I don't know what are.
And then they throw the hammer and the axe at each
Then
other.
you got
Okay,
Kratos.
I want to go. I want to say I'm gonna bet. No, I'm not gonna bet anything, but this is my guess on one aspect of the game. I think
You're going to have to fight someone.
yes. Boom. There you go.
No, no way. They're not gonna go that route.
I think the Leviathan axe is gonna break and gets replaced with Mjolnir.
Whoa.
Yeah?
Yeah, because they have very similar, attacks and animations, as far as you throw it and you recall it. So I think in that fight, the axe is going to break. Kratos is still going to win, but the axe is going to break, and then he's going to use Mjolnir instead. Because otherwise, I don't see why they would have you use Mjolnir if you basically have the same thing.
True. I mean, it does everything that Mjolnir is supposed to do.
Yeah.
I almost part of me wants to see him like go back to just Chaos Blades, but maybe that's just the old.
Well, I think they'll be there from the beginning this time.
They should.
I'm sure they will.
Do you think that so? As of right now, based on what you're saying, do you think Thor is going to be like the big baddie? Or
No.
Do you think it's going to be Odin?
I think it's going to be Odin. I think Thor might be midway
Yeah.
boss or something like that, but I think Odin is the big.
I
big
think it'd
bad.
be a cool change to the formula if he killed Odin pretty quickly,
That would be pretty cool.
and then Thor ends up being the big baddie. But I don't think they're going to do that.
No.
Can you like sort of put on whatever weapon you want in that game? Because I saw a double dagger attack that I thought was interesting.
So yeah, how 2018 God of War worked is the beginning game you just have the axe. And you like they did a really good job of hiding that there was going to be another weapon, and then probably halfway through you get the dual chaos blades from the original games, and then you just press right or left on the D-pad to switch between them. Super easy transition, and there's even like you can use the chaos blades the whole time if you want, or you could use the axe still. It just depends on your play style.
Wow.
Yeah, and I mean I want them to go give me more mythological weapons, because that's what the original God of War did, and it was pretty cool. You had like Hercules' fists, you had Hades'
Yeah.
claw. Although I do like, because they only had the two, they were very, very well
Like designed and
designed.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I kind of like that trade-off. I'm fine with that. But it would be cool to get like more mythological weapons, because that was pretty cool.
what about build diversity like Elden Ring? You
There
just
was
have 15 different attack sets.
yeah, no, there wasn't that.
I mean, it's not an RPG.
No.
So,
But they did have pretty good, like, as far as stats. You could build to be more aggressive. You could build to do more magic attacks, or you could build just to be a tank. So,
Did you say God of War is not an RPG?
it's not
What is it? What is it technically called?
action adventure.
Oh, action adventure, because you only play as that persona.
Yeah, I mean, it's missing a lot of the primary RPG elements. It's a story narrative driven game, but there's no choice. There's no, there's very extremely minimal differences in how you get from point A to point B. It's more in line with like a game like Uncharted. You know, that doesn't mean it's not good. I'm not saying
Right.
It's just- It's a different genre.
Interesting. I never. Yeah. Okay. I didn't know that there was like a difference, like a differentiating factor between that. But
The whole thing, like,
makes sense.
If you break it down, a role playing game is specifically so you can
play that.
role play that character into doing what you want it to do, versus
Sort of being on this
you're
linear
limited.
path.
It's a linear path. There's no choice. It is what it is.
You're
Interesting.
watching a story.
Which
Yeah.
there's a place for all different kinds, and God of War I don't think would work as an RPG.
Yeah.
No. The only thing I could see them doing possibly with God of War, and I don't think they would ever, is
Battle
something
Royale.
similar. To Ghost of Tsushima, where there's only a choice at the end.
Yeah,
But I don't think they'd do that, because then you have to worry about canon. And I think God of War, I think they're going to keep that franchise around for.
it's hard to
They're gonna
Long
milk
time.
it.
it's hard to continue on if there's any kind of choice. It's hard to make a sequel unless you change the character every time. You know, I don't know. Yeah, I say that, but Mass Effect does that. There's 3 whole games where, but I just don't. I don't know if that would fit.
And maybe if they make it a minor enough choice, like do you kill Freya or not, and then she doesn't show up
She's
in the
just
next
not
game.
in the next game. Yeah.
I guess that'd be fine. But
Well, is God of War the largest console exclusive of its type, like in terms of popularity? Like of an action adventure type?
I think it's on
Does
par.
anything on Xbox or even PlayStation compete with it?
I
Yeah,
think
like Uncharted.
was
Uncharted competes with it.
Like if they came out with an Uncharted 5, it would.
I think so.
pull
I mean,
in-
well, let's pull up the sales numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll look it
I
up.
think it's. I think they're comparable.
maybe Last of Us.
Maybe Last of Us. Not after Last of Us 2. They lost a lot of fans.
Yeah, I don't know.
Huh?
Here we go.
Last of Us 2 is literally the top one.
But like, that's just that one game, right? Like,
Well, no, that's a series. There's Last of Us Part 2,
yeah, I guess Spider-Man's on the list.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Bloodborne.
Let's look up what's the
That's
sales
interesting.
numbers of the Uncharted series, though. Look up Uncharted 4 sales.
Okay, I'll look that up. What do you
Because I think that will be, as much as people will say one thing or the other, that'll be really telling.
Wow.
Yeah, 15 million for Uncharted 4.
Holy shit, Elden Ring beat that.
Elden Ring,
I
yeah,
am
but
just
it's
so
on
shocked.
all systems.
Yeah. But
It's not just locked to
Mhm.
one.
I'm just so happy for it. I really am. I'm really happy for their success.
Let's do a tier list for Elden Ring on the pod. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't watch our streams, we did just drop a tier list for Elden Ring bosses.
Yeah, check out
so
our live stream.
check it
It's
out.
awesome.
It said, what does it say about Uncharted 4 dev celebrates 37 million players?
What do you mean?
Right on that same article.
On that same article right here?
Yeah.
Is this anniversary stats? Let's see. The final installment of Nathan Drake, although it's not clear how many copies have been sold. That's weird.
Keep going.
So never
down.
mind.
Yeah,
So it's
that's
closer to
just-
40 million.
I think that's for the whole series.
That seems to me more.
Yeah.
That's not just for the
Makes more
Uncharted
sense.
4. So yeah, I think that Last of Us, or not Last of Us, I think Uncharted 4 right now is PlayStation's. It's back and forth, but it's either Uncharted or God of War. Are there two?
So right there it says Uncharted 4 turns 5 today.
Yeah.
So 37 million people have played it.
In 5 years, 37 million people played it.
So
Since launch.
where'd the 15 million
I don't
Yeah.
come
know.
from?
Maybe that was just like at launch. Maybe it was
As of May 2019, Uncharted 4 had sold over 50 million.
Oh.
Okay. So
But then
Uncharted
it doubled over the next 2 years after it was like,
Uncharted
completely
is
stale.
fucking huge.
Yeah.
They did have their PC release,
Oh, and that probably
and
reboosted
also
it.
the movie came out.
The
And
game
then did they
is
boost
amazing.
it with like a DLC? Did they do a DLC for this?
No.
game? No.
Yeah, The
Did they?
Last of Us, Lost Legacy
For Uncharted?
for Uncharted 4. You play as Chloe.
Is that a DLC though, or it's a separate game?
It's like a soft expansion. It's not a whole game. It's literally like I beat it in like less. It was like, it's not full price.
But isn't
either.
it? Don't you buy it separately?
I guess I always kind of looked at it like it was an expansion.
Yeah,
but I
think
guess
you
it's
buy
its
it
own
separately.
game.
Yeah.
It's not a full game though.
No, it's like only $20 or something like that.
I almost consider that just like an expansion. It's Uncharted 4.
But see, Uncharted 4. I mean, I don't think they'll make any more Uncharted games. As sad as I mean, you know what? They probably will. But I don't know how they're gonna do it because they neatly wrapped up the story, and Nathan Drake is old now.
I don't think they're going to continue
Yeah.
it.
Which is sad
I
because
mean,
those are great games.
they might just keep going with Chloe or his older brother's still in it.
Yeah,
You know, Sam.
they'll do Sully before.
Just all decrepit. He's like 90 years old.
The God of War franchise has sold over 51 million,
Yeah.
which is dwarfed by Uncharted. If freaking Uncharted 4 did 40 million. That's crazy, dude.
You didn't know Uncharted was that big?
I guess I should have known because it made a movie, and I guess God of War made a movie. It's called Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, God.
Just kidding.
It's based off the game.
God
I
of War
guess I kind of. I
could
guess
be
I
a
should have
great
known,
movie.
but I guess it is weird too, though, because that was so long ago. I like, to me, Uncharted is
Well,
dead.
you never played Uncharted 4. That wasn't that long ago. It was 5 years ago.
But to me, like as of today, Uncharted is a dead series. Like it's not. There's no. Well, like the movie came out, but I mean, there's no talk of like Uncharted 5.
Yeah.
Like, God of War is still like a living,
I think that's fair.
evolving.
I don't
thing.
know if I'd call it a dead series, but it's definitely on a hiatus.
Yeah,
Because there's
hiatus.
nothing. Yeah, there's nothing.
Because you can still download it from
What do
the
you? I mean, what do you
store
plan to
and
do unless you're going to reboot the series?
Right.
Yeah.
Start over. Because they
do Nathan's son
wrapped it up. It's
Nathaniel.
daughter.
or
He
daughter.
doesn't have a son. The other series that I'd be interested to learn about is Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank might have some heavy numbers too.
Watch it be really weak. It was a passion project of the owner of Sony.
Yeah. It sold over 4,000 copies.
Here we go. We'll just do all titles, and we're gonna get a lot of crossover ones. So obviously, like Call of Duty and Pokemon are up there. But let's get into this.
I can't even read that.
Final Fantasy. Hey, this is an exclusive. World of Warcraft.
Puzzles and Dragons.
League of
That's
Legends.
true.
Oh my God, we're Halo.
$5 billion.
Do I trust this? Title Max.
What the?
Title?
Why are they?
I don't know if I trust that.
I mean, I trust them to, help me with the closing of my home. But
About video games? I don't know.
Wow. The 200 million copies category is pretty insane. Oh, okay, guys, I don't think we can do it. I think we're all wrong when we're talking about console exclusive because it's Nintendo titles.
Mario.
Yeah.
Look how long Mario's been around.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like we're sitting here.
I mean,
If we're judging it on that, then Nintendo's Pokemon 440 million, Super Mario 380 million.
I don't think anyone even really knows what Mario is. It's pretty underground.
Yeah. Not many people played it.
Resident Evil, is that the first one? Or no, that's a cross.
That
not
series
an
has been going
exclusive.
around a long time as well.
That's not an exclusive though.
Yeah, it's cross-platform.
Do you see another freaking Nintendo game? Wow.
Borderlands, Just
wow.
Dance, Red Dead,
Mario Party is its own separate thing.
Oregon
Wow.
Trail.
Elder Scrolls. This is
God of War.
Bejeweled. There we go. Okay, so God of War is 52 million. So that's got to be. Okay, well now I'm curious.
That's the
Where
whole
fuck-
series.
There's Uncharted 44 million. Okay. So 4 did 37 million, and the rest did. I don't get that. I think that
That's-
article is so wrong.
That
Yeah.
article's wrong. There's no fucking
I think
way.
that's the whole series, dude. Exactly what you said, Kyle.
There's also
That one game had 44 million.
Like the most popular game of all time. Like what?
And God of War has more games too. They have God of War 1, 2, and 3, Ascension. They had some like PSP spin-offs.
Yeah.
That's true. Depending on how long you go back. Like,
Yeah.
The longer the history, the
And
more
they had
tendency-
remasters.
I think Uncharted edges out God of War just a little bit. At least as far as like overall popularity.
On here, God of War is more popular.
No, I'm saying if you take into account
It's
the fact
spiked
that there's-
harder over fewer games versus.
Yeah. If
Oh.
you take
If you're
into account
this-
the lifespan
yeah.
of God of War.
If you
Versus-
sell 5 million copies, but you make 40 games that sell 5 million copies versus you sell 3
God of War-
games at 20 million.
God of War's been going since the PS2 era.
To that, scroll up.
What?
Really?
What are we looking at?
I want to see what year it says for Uncharted.
Oh my.
2007.
Oh, Uncharted's right here. So
Then
7.
what about God of War?
God of War is
2004?
05.
2005.
Interesting. But far less games.
First
Frank.
God
Yeah.
of War I played was on PS2.
Guitar
God of
Hero.
War 1.
Yep, that's the first time I saw animated
Boobs.
boobs.
Whoa.
It was nice.
It was very bad.
It awakened something. I mean,
I remember the original like
It
Tomb
had like
Raider.
3 pixels.
I remember like the original Lara Croft on the PS1.
It's just so
Triangles.
pointy. I love they're like the origin of Laura Croft's bust is they were like, oh, I was playing around with the animation and I accidentally increased it by 200%. That was his story. Like accidentally.
Oh no!
Yeah.
What?
Whoops.
Oh wow!
And it
Miss
looked great.
Last of Us is up here with 30 million.
Spider-Man.
That's impressive considering
33.
Last of Us only has 2 games.
Yeah.
I guess I mean the remake just came out, but
Wow.
Nintendogs.
Dark Souls.
27 million.
Nintendogs.
God, Nintendo is so. Oh, here we go. Ratchet and Clank, 26 million.
Only 26.
That's actually not that much considering they've been
Yeah.
pumping out games since 2002.
Like I said, I was right. It's just a passion project.
I mean, that's a lot. But
Yeah.
Indie developer.
Yeah, you know. 4,000 copies sold.
I mean, who's ever even heard of Insomniac, right? I mean,
no
come
one.
How many copies do you think they sold? 4? 5?
on. Billion.
6.
At the top, one I saw that fascinates me is Sims.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
That like broke into like the normal people world.
yeah, what's crazy about that though is they haven't released a new game since I don't know how long.
200 million.
Dude,
copies.
Mario has all these different categories, too. There's Super Mario, Mario Party. They're all their own thing, and they're all selling like
Yeah.
200 million.
Yeah.
Like, what is this?
I did not realize. Like, I knew Assassin's Creed was popular. I didn't know it was 200 million copies popular.
It's kind of
Me
like
neither.
the... I knew that because it's kind of like the...
That's on the same level as Minecraft.
It's like the Starbucks coffee of the gaming world. It's like the basic bitch.
Yeah.
You know, like...
Did you see, Kyle, all the announcements they made about the next Assassin's
Yeah.
Creed game?
The Japan one is a little interesting, but...
I am so excited
Yeah.
for any of those. Like,
Really?
okay, Japan, yeah, but I was like,
I haven't
you're a little
played-
late.
I haven't played an Assassin's Creed to completion since Assassin's Creed 3. So, like,
Did you watch the full Ubisoft forward or whatever it was called?
I
I-
watched the highlights.
Yeah.
I watched it, the whole thing, and I just was like, holy shit, Ubisoft is like owns so many titles. I didn't realize like they
Yeah.
own Just Dance and stuff like that.
Far
like,
Cry, Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed.
Rayman.
such a diverse.
Do they own
Diverse.
Rainbow Six?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ubisoft owns a lot.
So many.
They're up there.
We got they own Just Dance, For Honor, Assassin's Creed,
Prince
Rayman,
of
Tom
Persia.
Clancy's Watch Dogs,
Prince of Persia.
Prince of Persia.
One day you might get what you deserve.
One
Dylan.
day we'll get another one.
a remaster.
I
Listen to this though.
need
You're
I-
going the wrong way.
turn around.
If before we looked at this list and I asked you what is more popular historically, Final Fantasy, the entire series, or Assassin's Creed, would you have said Assassin's Creed?
I don't think I would have.
There's no chance in hell
Do
I'd
we-
say
I mean-
Assassin's Creed.
Do we say that copies sold translate to cultural impact, though?
I would even say Final Fantasy's had a more cultural impact.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Are we
Oh.
saying that copies sold directly translates to cultural impact? I don't think so. Yeah, it's the same
we
way.
talk about this one.
Call of Duty is up there, man. They sold a shit ton of stuff, but do you really think that, at least in this point in time, did Warzone have more of a cultural impact than
Call
like,
of Duty
Elden
gave
Ring?
me my thick skin. If you couldn't handle the pre-game lobbies of that game, getting called all kinds of names, then you couldn't play the game.
Back before in Modern Warfare 2, when you couldn't have a private lobby, when you had your mic on,
Yep.
you just had to be in the lobby with everyone else.
I was on there way too young. I shouldn't have probably been playing that.
Yeah, dude.
But-
I don't think that sales. I mean, it directly translates to success, but I don't think it translates to cultural impact. I think that it's more than just a matter of selling a copy. It's how much you're being known and what.
Because
Because
Final Fantasy is
Final
huge.
Fantasy, the cultural impact is so high.
I guess that is a good point, right? Like every fucking person saw Avatar, right?
Yeah, but
But does it hit as hard as like, some of the
Dances with Wolves. No, kidding.
yeah, Dirty Dancing?
But that's a perfect example. Everybody saw Avatar. It was the biggest movie in the world. But looking back in 20 years, are you going to compare the cultural impact of that to like the first Star Wars movie?
Right.
Or
Or
Yeah.
even Endgame.
even
I mean,
Endgame.
I know they're comparable as far as sales, but I look back on Endgame, I'm like, man, that was insane. Like, that was such a cool event to live through, much more impactful versus Avatar. I'm like, how the heck is it as
Why
selling?
is it so popular?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't understand.
And they just keep relaunching in theaters to keep that number one spot.
I think Assassin's Creed is also one of those games that it's polished enough that you feel comfortable enough buying it day one and spending money on it, but it's not the kind of game that's you're gonna keep playing it over and over and over again. So like Mass Effect, obviously is nowhere near the level of like Assassin's Creed, but you can buy that game and you can play it over and over and over again, and the impact is felt. My phone's talking to me. The impact is felt, and but that doesn't. You're not buying the game every time you play,
Yeah.
so it does nothing for their sales.
Yeah.
I
That's
wanted
interesting.
I wanted to add there too that I am guilty of exactly what you said, Kyle, except for not day one. I am guilty of seeing posts online or one of my friends, he's still a pretty big fan of Assassin's Creed, so he'll play it and then he texts me about it, and then a little itch comes and I'm like, well, maybe I'll give it a try.
Do you feel good about yourself when you play Assassin's Creed
No,
games?
I don't. I mean, I can admit they're fun for a little bit.
They're always fun for a little bit,
Mhm.
and then they get boring. Like
They
never,
have a formula.
They're never fun enough to get me to finish the game. I'm always like, oh, I'm actually digging this.
Yeah.
And then like after a couple days, I'm like, meh. Like it lost me.
They're the approach they're taking, and supposedly I believe this exactly 0%, but the approach they usually take is like as wide as the ocean but as deep as a pond, right?
And what?
No, that's the approach they used to take to games. So like the game is as huge as the ocean, but it's the
so just
depth
a massive world, but like
depth
nothing.
is nothing.
Going.
Yeah,
Assassin's Creed Origins.
yeah.
Imagine pitching that idea to some
So-
developer. Like, all right, guys, bring your passion into this. I want a shallow as fuck game, and it's
Yeah.
all surface level. It's gonna look great. It's gonna sell like a mother, but I don't want any.
It is though.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
thing. It's $200 million worth.
That's
so-
amazing, dude. I love that.
So they came out.
Is that real?
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
no, like that's my personal thing. They
Oh.
came out on the recent Ubisoft and they said our games are going to be a lot smaller now. And
They're going back to
exactly
their
0% believe that
Yeah.
because they've said that like every single time.
They said they're going back to their roots because Odyssey and Valhalla ventured into that RPG territory, and they were long,
And it was so huge, which I
choice
mean,
driven.
cool. I love that, they can make a map that big, but there's a certain medium.
They lost themselves a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
It stopped being about assassins pretty much after Ezio's story was completed.
Black Flag was the last one where I was hyped
Yeah.
based on the story. And even then, the story was kind of weird,
Yeah.
but I thought Desmond was going to come back or something.
Yeah, and it lost some of its charm and its uniqueness. Like Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Assassin's Creed 2 and Assassin's Creed Brotherhood are right up there with some of my favorite games of that generation.
3 was
3
even good too.
Yeah. But they just
It
it
was
spiraled out of control.
Yeah, they had a plan for the game. I think I remember reading a while ago, like somebody finally did an expose, and they had a full arc planned out, but then Ubisoft said, "No, you can't end the game here," and so they all of a sudden had to come up with a new way to like continue the game, and that's why the story is shit.
Yeah, but good on Ubisoft financially.
Yeah,
$200 million.
Well, and now like literally when I sit in there, I think it was called the Ubisoft Forward or whatever.
yeah.
That was like what, at least an hour? Might even be
Versus 22
versus
minutes.
22 minutes, and I was like, I was just sitting there going, wow, they have so many titles, so many games coming out, and I guess I didn't realize that they play both sides of the coin. They're both a developer and a publisher.
Yeah.
Because they're that large at this point.
But if you don't like the direction that companies are taking their games, then stop fucking buying them. Because if they make money, they don't care.
Yeah,
They will
especially
never change.
they jam microtransactions in there, and
Well, did you see that?
Let's bitch about that.
Yeah,
Did you see
Microtransactions.
that? Did you see that? Or did you only watch the highlights in the? Did you see the announcement that they made for the PlayStation showcase
What?
today?
no,
They were like talking about NFTs.
Yeah. Everyone saw
man.
that coming, but that
They did like a whole like of the 22 minutes, like 3 minutes of it was this lady talking about NFTs and like how you can get customized NFT like of all your old games. Like you got like a custom NFT PlayStation 3 image.
Oh, I think I saw that like show up, but it was muted, and
That's
I was
an
like, "What the heck
NFT.
is this?" Wow.
NFTs.
Because they're implementing blockchain technology for you as a gamer.
NFTs are the
Dude.
worst thing that's happened to everything.
I haven't yet to see a good implementation. Like it could be cool. Okay, I have a unique copy of this, whatever the fuck
Yeah.
that means. But is it even it's not even a talking point.
Like, what am I expected to do? Play the game with 40 million other people and go, hey, I got one of 40 million of these. I'm going to sell this on the open marketplace. Let's see what I can get this for. Like, what?
I got this for.
This supposed to make money from it? What value is it? Can I
Yeah.
put it in my...
I bought this for 5 cents, flipped it for 15.
yeah.
Yeah, and what are you supposed to do with it?
Literally, I don't know.
You just let me log on so I can look at my NFT.
And then what do? I got downloaded into like some NFT wallet that I can carry around and be like, oh,
You want to?
I once played this game and I have a picture of a 2006 PlayStation Original 3.
Check
The
it
full
out.
Fat version. Check it out. I own this. This is only. This is the only image owned by me. All right, and 40 million.
There's other images, but this one is mine.
This one's mine.
or like
This
some of
exact
Yeah.
angle belongs to me.
No, it's not
Me
even
alone.
that. It's that picture.
It was like a GIF because
The
it was like
picture of
rotated. It
that
was
angle.
so I don't know. And then what does blockchain technology even mean in terms of like? Are you like God?
Who knows?
Who the hell knows? I want to see an implementation of it because I hear a lot of chit chat and I've never seen anything of interest.
Yeah, and how's it gonna help
Transform
games?
my experience.
How's it not going to help games, Dylan?
I guess, yeah. I'm not thinking big enough.
Clearly.
I'm not thinking Ubisoft
Hey.
forward.
All right.
Put on your
you were
meta
not
head.
thinking of a vast ocean an inch deep. You were thinking.
Let's get meta. What a big brain idea by some exec. We are going to just churn and burn games out every year. We're going to put this disgustingly large map on there because we can.
Yeah.
And it's going to be completely empty
And we're gonna
devoid
make
of anything.
$200 million doing it.
Is that copy sold or the dollars?
Copies sold.
So
So
Times
that,
that by 60.
yeah.
yeah,
Oh man.
billions.
and billions.
They're like, perfect, it worked. All right. Well, the fans say they don't want this. What?
Dude, it worked.
I'll try to worry about that as I swim my golden pool.
We'll tell them
It
we're
obviously
going back
worked.
to formula, but we aren't.
It's crazy to me that like we're still talking about Assassin's Creed in 2022.
Maybe
Are you
Green Goblin
kidding me?
is the is the
owner?
CEO of Ubisoft. When they say go back to formula, he's like,
I'm
back
some-
to formula. He's gonna throw one of them across the room.
I'm somewhat of a game designer myself.
I could totally see the him being
Willem Dafoe being the evil CEO.
of Ubisoft.
Jesus.
Or would he be EA?
He could be either or at this point.
I Ubisoft still to me isn't as bad as EA.
It's not.
No.
Not even close. And they at least have developed decent games.
Mm-hmm.
Even with all the fuckery that they pull, at least their games are still fun majority of the time.
Is
One-
Bethesda worse or better than Ubisoft?
Old
It's hard to
Bethesda,
say. Old
better.
Bethesda-
Well, yeah, obviously.
Old Bethesda's king, but
But
they've
where they
just-
sit today.
They didn't start misstepping honestly until like the last like 5 or so years though.
Yeah.
So it's
Or
hard to judge them for just that, you know?
Is Bethesda still independent or are they owned by someone?
No, they're owned by Microsoft.
Microsoft.
That's what I thought. Damn
Yeah.
it. I didn't want to say that because I didn't want to seem like, no, they're owned by fucking. They're owned by Activision, which is owned by Blizzard, and then Blizzard's owned by Microsoft, and so they.
It's owned by the Katie Ratio.
Yeah.
I did some deals on the side, guys.
Todd Howard,
Me and Todd talked.
we now have
own-
our first guest, and in person, Todd Howard. Come on in,
He comes in. Hey, it just works.
and then leaves. If you can tell over the audio, that was actually Todd Howard that said,
Nice talking to you, Todd.
"Yeah,
Next guy comes up. You guys have phones, right? You like mobile?
Phone.
I was like half the showcase too was like VR, like tabletop.
Yeah.
I
VR.
could care less about
which
VR.
I'm excited for the future of VR, but right now I'm not."
As console boys, you never see yourself investing in like a Oculus Quest or whatever.
Oh, I do, but I just don't think game development is at the point with VR that
I don't think the market's big enough.
yeah, it's not big enough to excite me yet. There's cool concepts. I love the idea of VR. I really, if I was rich and I had a ton of money, I would definitely buy the Oculus Quest and I would just because so I could play
I
it.
want to watch porn,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
If you were rich and had a ton of money, that's the only time you buy an Oculus Quest.
Well, I'm just saying, at this point, because it's not a worthy investment for the money I save
Let me
up
just
now.
delete that from my shopping cart real quick. So you don't judge me. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I mean, if you want to buy it, sure. I bought
I'm
the
100% with you. I'm just
Yeah.
being antagonistic.
I bought the
I agree.
PlayStation VR and loved it. Now it sits in my room collecting dust. So
yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of work to be done. there.
mhm.
We're so
It's
far.
so cool. It's so cool. Like, but there's just not a.
We are so
don't
far
know what
from
it is.
meta.
We're close, bro.
Facebook
We're so far
Bro,
from
we're so there.
like
Did you see those animations, man? I could upload a photo of myself and bam, instantly
Meta. like
Meta.
God.
That's where you can look at your NFTs
Oh my god.
in the metaverse.
in the
Oh my god.
metaverse.
I can turn them into like plushies and play with them.
Yeah.
I can play with a PS3.
You
in
can
the
throw
metaverse.
your NFT up and down
Yeah.
in the metaverse.
I can- Jesus. What are we even talking about,
you can
man?
you can
I
take that NFT
forgot.
and rub it all over yourself in the metaverse.
With the
Wasn't
new-
there some rumblings that Bethesda was trying to break off from Microsoft? What was it? Or what studio was trying to take back their ownership and break off? There was one that was recent.
I don't know if there's anything as dramatic as that. I mean, Bungie used to have a really good relationship with Microsoft, and they slowly kind of separated.
Mhm.
I thought I saw some other studio.
And they recently, I mean, not super
They
recent.
bought back their portion of
Of
Destiny
Bungie.
from Activision.
Yeah.
Bungie did. They had more of a falling out with Activision, though, not Microsoft per se.
And then they got bought by PlayStation, right? Bungie.
Yeah.
Boy, what a swing there. We're moving away from you corporate entity.
And then
Hey,
they're-
Sony, how you doing?
Well, they probably realized how much easier life is when you have a mega giant
Well,
backing you. You
and-
know, like
I thought that they already had some type of deal with PlayStation because Destiny 1 had PlayStation exclusives already.
Well, they had already separated from Microsoft at that point, but they weren't owned. I think PlayStation paid for that.
Yeah.
Is what happened.
Hmm.
In the same way that back in the day, all the map packs for Call of Duty used to release on Xbox first, and then they released on PlayStation after. It wasn't because they were owned by Microsoft; it's just because Microsoft paid for a special exclusion.
Give this to us for 1 whole year and you
Yeah,
get an
Bethesda
extra
is
10
part of
million.
ZeniMax, and ZeniMax is owned by Microsoft, and Microsoft's owned by me.
You're Bill Gates.
That's why they
and
call
we
me
call
Bill.
him Billy.
Lil Billy.
What if this whole time you were Bill Gates and we
And
started
I didn't know
streaming?
who owned Bethesda.
And we started streaming and it was Bill Gates?
Yeah.
Dude, that would be the weirdest. No way.
Just two young
That'd be
people
so
that are
strange.
friends with him.
Could you imagine like Bill Gates doing something and like having 4 people watch it? They're not doing anything.
As soon as they found out, it'd be over. There'd
Yeah.
be,
Oh, absolutely. And then they'd be combing through everything to see if they, I said
they can
anything
exploit anything.
dumb. I said plenty. That's stupid. So it's not hard.
Honestly, I don't think any of us could ever run for office if we ever did.
If we leave the podcast
Well, you know
up.
what's funny?
They'd be able to
no one in
filter
our
through this.
generation, compared to old standards, we're way too visible with our lives.
Yeah.
And the only way you get into that world is like to be super popular, right? So
There's literally a
don't know.
soundbite out there of me saying I would fuck the shit out of Dylan. So I mean,
I'm feeling a certain way about you, right?
is that what I can't remember? I thought it was something graphic. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I don't think it was. I'm gonna fuck this shit out. I mean, that's a pretty aggressive.
I think it is.
It was something close to that.
Was it? Really?
Yeah, it says I'm
Jesus.
feeling some kind of way. And then it
Because
proceeds.
I said, yeah, I'm feeling some type of way, and I was like, I would fuck the shit out of Dylan, and then you had that same response. You were like, what? And it was very similar to that.
Jesus.
That's immortalized on our Instagram if you go find it.
Definitely check it out.
Not only is there a clip that is out there, we're actively promoting it.
Yes.
I absolutely, and then I would use that as a platform to be like, okay, so what do you have against my love for Dylan?
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah, I just looked up Starfield because that's sort of like the
Bethesda.
big hype for next year. I don't know. Like, I've seen some stuff that I think it could be really cool. And what was the game that they botched that you guys weren't that? Was it Redfall? No, that's the coming out
what,
soon.
that Bethesda?
Bethesda?
did?
Yeah, Bethesda they botched, and so you're like a
76?
little.
Fallout 76.
Yeah, so you're like a little hesitant in going into.
Yeah.
Well, that
And 4 wasn't
I
the
actually
best.
wasn't a huge fan of Fallout 4 either, and Fallout 76 was a major
the nail in the
disappointment.
coffin.
And you guys know me, I can forgive a lot, but a boring game,
Boring game that was made nobody wanted.
yeah.
Nobody wanted
Nobody wanted.
this MMO, and they're like, "This is what you guys have been waiting for." It's like, no,
Nah.
I wanted to play with my close friends, co-op.
That was a perfect example of an ocean wide, an inch deep. Was Fallout 76.
I love that analogy.
Nothing interesting.
But they got a couple bangers coming out. Bethesda does Hogwarts Legacy. Are we hyped?
They're not working on that.
Oh,
No, that's
also
people.
search
It
for
says God of War there as well.
I was just mocking. I was just mocking.
I know
this
you
game.
tried to mock them last time, and I was like, it actually looks
Yeah, it
decent.
looks pretty
Actually,
good.
you know what? On the state of play, it did look good. I'm not even gonna lie. I was like, actually, this looks like it could be fun. And then it's at Hogwarts, and I'm like, oh damn it!
Oh,
shit.
damn it.
Who's the developer? on
Rana
this?
would probably
Warner-
love that. She loves Harry
Absolutely.
Potter, right?
Interactive Entertainment.
Warner Bros.
They're a development studio. What other games have they made?
Well, they own Portkey Games, which is developing the Harry Potter
Portkey
games. Yeah.
Multiverses.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So much. You guys have such a great memory on all this shit. I don't have. I dump this out of my brain the moment. Like who owns what and how
Because
it's all
it's not
intertwined.
stuff you need to have in your brain. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
It literally, I dump it. I think, did I like the game or not? You know, I think there's something to that. Not getting too attached to who makes it, and I think you can really get oversold on hype.
Yes. BioWare.
Yeah.
But then
I
there's
still
like
cry.
some studios that you're like,
I cry every time.
I cry. CRI
Every
man.
time I think of Mass Effect Andromeda, it makes me sad.
or Anthem.
Or Anthem. I didn't get suckered into Anthem.
Anthem was a great game.
After Andromeda, I was like, no, I'm not pre-ordering. I'm not buying. I'm going to wait. And I would made the right choice.
You did.
Star Citizen coming to you soon.
Oh, yeah, dude. I just heard of this.
Yeah, dude. It's
a brand new game, right?
Brand new game. It's only been in development for 30 years.
And
Ew.
been at the forefront of like some fraud stuff.
Yeah.
Because
Mark
the guy just
Hamill's in
keeps-
it, I heard. He is.
I don't know, man. I mean, is it technically? You can technically play it, right? You just playing it in what, alpha or beta or something?
Forever beta.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, that thing has lost some energy. I haven't heard shit about it.
No. I mean, well, because Elite Dangerous is kind of... They're actually a full game, and then they're adding the stuff that Star Citizen is.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting is like I actually I think it was Jack Frags who did a playthrough like 4 or 5 months ago, and he put it up on his YouTube, and I watched it. And I'm like, this actually looks like a fun game, but I feel like it's just such a fucking meme at this point. Like,
Yeah.
It's,
imagine telling someone like legitimate, what are you playing these days? I'm playing Star Citizen, man. It's actually like they just laugh you out of the room.
I will admit that I will be cautiously optimistic about Starfield. As we get closer to that, it'll be the what makes me buy an Xbox or not. That game.
I need to see a lot more gameplay,
Right.
mainly gameplay. I don't care about cinematics for that game.
Yeah. I didn't really care about the story. If they have like a really good like Skyrim,
Yeah.
a really good sandbox open world in that kind of universe, the story can be decent.
Well, didn't you hear, Kyle? There's like millions of planets you can visit.
So that's
It's No Man's Sky.
It's No Man's Sky squared.
that doesn't excite me that much.
I know.
You know,
I'm not.
Well, anything procedurally generated because it's it's going to be
Half the time you end up.
It's going to be
It's just
an
a
ocean wide,
Yeah.
an inch deep.
Yeah.
You're right, dude. Did you come up with that?
No,
No.
Just kidding, man.
they've been saying that since No Man's Sky, because that was what they said about No Man's Sky.
God. But you defend that they've redeemed themselves, though, right? So
I don't necessarily defend it
Me?
because I
No,
haven't played
Dylan.
it. Dylan
Yes.
does not. He fucking
I love
hates-
Sean Murray so much.
yeah,
He
absolutely.
hates.
It's come full
Yeah.
circle, man. He grinds that game daily.
Every day I log
He
on.
grinds
to No
on
Man's
that
Sky,
game and records himself doing it.
and I send it to Sean Murray.
That's why our stats are so good. There's so much hype around No Man's Sky right now. Listen, let's get into our other topics.
All right, there are a few things that we should hit on. One, there's a lot of D23 Expo. There was a lot of stuff that dropped in regards to Marvel. The thing that's most exciting to me right now is Secret Invasion. I don't know what you guys feel about that, but that trailer, I like that it's taking itself seriously.
It
'Cause
looks good.
I am a little worn down with the
Joker
comedy?
down the line. Yeah.
the comedy of the MCU as of late. And so I do like that this is taking it back to the gritty, the nitty gritty.
Yeah. It's one of the few shows, too, that's been announced that we have a trailer of, right?
Yeah.
So I do like the darker tone. I've been saying it for a long time. I like the villains that are dark. That's why I think DC has an incredible opportunity because they like to lean
they
into
keep
that.
Failing.
Fucking up. So it's exciting to see they're I think maybe testing it with a TV series and not a full blown movie. I mean, they
almost
try to
like
do the
that
more.
it's a TV series.
I do too.
It's more of an
Yeah.
opportunity to really sell that world. I love the idea of fighting a war with people you don't even know are there, and like I love it. And I like how serious Nick Fury's taking this.
The combat looks really good, like just cinematography wise.
It's very Winter Soldier-esque. Captain America Winter Soldier.
Who's directing this?
I don't know.
We're gonna be like a different director every episode.
Probably. It's probably
Not just one person. We could look up who the showrunner is. That might tell us.
That's more important, anyways.
Kevin Feige. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Jonathan Schwartz.
Well, those are the producers, but
England.
England is the executive producer.
Kyle Bradstreet.
Oh,
That's my alias.
good old Kyle. I was like, is that your porn name?
Bradstreet.
Brad.
Is that true? I saw the name Kyle Bradstreet.
He's
Yeah,
developing
yeah.
a TV. Yeah.
Okay, look. What
Yeah.
is his work? What has he worked on?
Let's take a look. He looks good in a suit, so that's
Very
good.
good.
He went to Buffalo State
Can
College.
you just look at his filmography?
Nah, let's get into his details here. He's a writer and a producer.
Born in
Very good, very good.
1970. 1980.
He did Mr. Robot.
Whoa,
Okay,
that was. Did you guys watch that?
yeah, it was good.
If he brings that kind of tone
He
to
wrote
this,
9 episodes
Yeah,
of
but
it.
yeah, but you're like you.
he was producer.
If
For
you're
9 episodes, right,
involved,
for 9.
yeah.
You're
And he was
involved
the
in it anyway.
co-executive producer and supervising producer, so he was heavily involved in it. If he brings that tone to this, which it obviously looks like it is, I think it's going to be really good.
I'm down for that.
Wow.
They also announced the lineup for the God, what is that show? It's like Marvel's version of the Suicide Squad. What are they called? I'm blanking.
The red. No, I know which
Wait,
one you're talking about. It
What'd you
has.
say? I wasn't listening.
It has Black Widow's sister, Bucky.
Yeah.
The
It's Marvel's version of the Suicide Squad. What is the name of that?
Black.
The Dark Sides, Punishing Gang,
Unforgivables.
Untouchables.
Look up
Expendables.
Marvel's version of Suicide Squad. The Untouchable.
Let's see, Google.
Expendable. Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts. That was close.
Zemo's not there. Isn't that kind of weird?
That is kind of weird.
Zemo's not in their lineup, and I think that's a bit of a missed opportunity.
Yeah, people love him.
But
Wasn't
they
it
got Black Widow's dad, the Russian guy.
Mhm.
They got Black Widow's sister.
Bucky.
They got Bucky. They
Wasn't
got
that a lot of the excitement around that? Was they thought Zemo?
They
was
thought
gonna be a
Zemo
part
was there because
remember
apparently he's
people
in
talking
the
about that.
comics. And I love Zemo. He's one of the more interesting villains. So we'll see what happens.
might
Nothing
get
too much
added.
on it.
He might be the villain of the villains.
Yeah, could be.
Maybe he's the villain that the villains are trying to take out.
And then
Thunderbolts, assemble! If that drops into episode 1, I ain't watching it.
Thunderbolts assemble.
assemble.
Eternals, assemble! I want to reach to the screen.
Except
and smack him.
the arrival lasts like a second. 'Cause there's only like 5 of them.
4 people. Yeah. God dang, man.
And then another thing in Disney, did you guys see the like only game they announced?
Disney?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Marvel, it's Black Panther and Captain
Panther
America
and Captain
in World
America.
War II.
It's
There's
an alternate reality kind of
yeah.
interesting take.
It's
But
4-player or it's
4-player, so I think it's gonna be kind of like how Gotham Knights is.
it's weird. The only part I'm not super hyped for it because it is cool. I like the idea of 4-player with Black Panther and Captain America, but then they decided to add boring characters as the other two.
Yeah, like
They have a soldier.
if you're
and
playing
then-
with 4 people, like how do you choose who gets to be the real cool people
Yeah.
and then the other 2 people are just fucks? You know, like
So there's Black Panther, Captain America, human soldier on like the American side, and then one of the the bald
Yeah.
guards from Black Panther, one of those.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Fuck it.
To me, that doesn't seem fair. You could have
you'd rather play as
I
him
want to
than-
run and gun, all right? while Black Panther is just
You know what's
going
gonna happen
crazy.
is it's gonna be Endgame where Black Panther and Captain America are 40 yards ahead of
Yeah.
everyone else, and you're gonna be like,
And I'm wielding Dez and Troy.
yeah,
Oh, man. Guns in the MCU, dude. They don't belong. I'm sorry. Not at this stage, at least. Imagine I got an AK-47 for your airship.
unless they're the pistols being wielded by Black Widow in Avengers
yeah.
Jesus.
in the first
I'm
one.
waiting for her to curve bullets.
That
She's
is,
dead now,
when
but-
you think about it, that is kind of funny that in the very first Avengers film, which we thought was like the apex of Marvel at the time, we didn't think anything was going to top that. But she was literally just shooting Glocks.
Yeah.
Like, pew, pew, pew.
She
And
looked
then-
damn good doing it though.
And then towards the end, then she's got all these weapons in her arsenal. And she's like
batons and
actually a superhero.
yeah,
The saddest thing is that was peak Hulk.
It was.
yeah.
And that was 2012 or 14 or whatever.
Yeah.
That's sad.
12.
Although, didn't they announce? Yeah, he's getting another movie, right? Yeah.
Yeah, well, if you've watched She-Hulk, they already kind of allude to what he's going to be doing next.
Oh,
which
cool. I'm waiting for
last
that to
we've seen
wrap
him. Last we've seen him in She-Hulk is he's like, yeah, I might be out of town for a while. Don't wait up for me. And then it zooms out and he's like on a spaceship going to another planet. So
Yeah, I'm waiting for that to wrap up so I can binge watch it. I've actually, for as much memes as that show got, like in its infancy, like before it came out, I've heard really good things. Like
Yeah.
people seem to really be enjoying it, so I'm excited.
it got review bombed pretty hard. All I'll say is it's not nearly as bad as what people were trying to make it out to be.
Yeah.
It's a comedy though. You know, it's primarily focused on being funny with action on the side. And so if you go into it with that expectation, of course you're not going to get Loki. You know, you're not going to get shows like that. Or you're not going to get the seriousness of Captain America and Winter Soldier. But it's highly enjoyable, and I almost feel kind of bad that it got shit on so hard right off the rip.
Internet's annoying nowadays. Anything people
Lord of the
shit
Rings.
on.
No,
Lord of the Rings. There's like 3 that recently happened. She-Hulk with the twerking, Lord of the Rings, and then now it's Little Mermaid.
yeah,
And it's just like I'm tired of it. I don't care.
like dude, people are so asinine. Like, how fucking dare Little Mermaid be black? Like, that's so, like, you're so ignorant. Like, let's hope that no one takes that out of context. What I just said, because I am not on that.
They cut that
Yeah.
section out specifically.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I honestly don't think that anyone actually believes it. I think they're just literally trying to troll.
And that's the thing is it could
There's
be
no
that.
way. I've never heard anyone in real life be like, this really pisses me off. Like, never in my life would I just couldn't imagine someone actually saying that to someone.
Sadly, Billy, I think there are actually people like that.
There's definitely some, but I think the people posting it on the internet don't believe it. They just
Everybody
trying to
has a
stir shit.
platform now.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's giving a voice to a lot of people that wouldn't have spoken up before. I think it was a comedian that said it. I forget who said it, but it was definitely a comedian. He was making it a joke, but he was serious. And he said the difference between now and 20 years ago, now if you voice your opinion, you might make people some mad online. 20 years ago, if you voice your opinion like that, you get your shit kicked in. And he's
Yeah.
like, that's the difference.
Yeah.
And that's why people are feeling confident enough to behave and talk like this.
Yeah, and everyone's trying to chase their own clout and everything. It's ridiculous. Like,
Any kind of
remember when
fame
the-
is
Yeah.
good fame.
exactly. And remember, like, when Elden Ring first dropped, like, within the first 24 hours, there were people like, this is the worst fucking game I've ever played in my life. Here's why.
hard.
Yeah, and I went up and I hit this guy on accident, which you have to hit him like 3 or 4 times before fights you with Vare.
Mm-hmm.
And then I try to run away and I fucking run into this tree sentinel and then I can't beat him and I respawn back at the side of Grace where Vare keeps attacking me. And that was one of the reviews. This guy, he didn't even play after that. He dropped the game. You can't do a review on a game that you played
cannot.
for 20 minutes.
It should be a rule that you can't review a game unless you beat it. Even if it's a bad game.
Yeah.
Unless it's literally game breaking, unplayable. Like, it's impossible to beat it.
So
But
since I've been, I'm all about God of War right now. On my suggested, this video keeps popping up and annoys the heck out of me. It's clickbait, and I guess he's a troll or something like that. But on the video, it shows like God of War Ragnarok, and the title is "If you buy this, you're an idiot." And it's like the game's not even out. First off, and so what if I buy it? Like,
It's literally because it's recommend. It's just
Yeah.
it's the algorithm. People are playing it. So do we
Every
wanna
time
get-
I see those, I specifically do everything in my power to not touch it. I don't want YouTube thinking that in any way I want to look at that.
Yeah.
Because you click on one of those once, the
You're
next thing you know, it's on your front page forever. You're like, get out of here.
I think I went in and I clicked the 3 dots and went like to
not interested.
not interested, and then I
Accidentally clicked it. And then, no, God, no. Get it out of here. But
what other topics do we want to get into? We got a couple more here.
yeah, we got real quick. We could touch on Cyberpunk as far as the update, and then the
Yeah.
anime came out.
So,
Have you
we'll
both
keep
played
it. We'll keep it concise. I've played the update.
good.
It's very good. Game is incredibly smooth. If you definitely can buy it for cheap now. The
Mhm.
game is nowhere near full price. I, as a Cyberpunk fanboy, I can't recommend it highly enough. To anyone that wants to get into the game now, now's the time to do it because it's actually the game they intended at launch. And it's sad it took them this long to get there. I always kind of saw that vision from the beginning, so I was giving them the benefit of the doubt. But now's the time. Quick review. That's about all I got. It's fun. It's entertaining. It's good.
Transmog is awesome.
I love that in any game.
Yeah,
You should just be able to wear what you want to wear without sacrificing, your stats.
Should be
And-
just a basic quality of life that all developers take clued in on.
and then they did confirm that there will be they aren't giving up on the IP, so there's going to be a future for Cyberpunk, which I'm happy
Yeah.
with because I think it's an amazing. I don't think we have enough. I mean, I think there's definitely a surge of Cyberpunk genre games when Cyberpunk first came out, but I don't think we have enough AAA versions.
Yeah. I will see. I think this DLC that's launching, I think it's going to be make or break for this IP. It's going to have to be a really amazing that, or it's just going to have to make a lot of sales. But that's the thing, it's tough. Obviously, their PR took a huge hit, but they still made a shit ton of money on it.
Yeah.
So it's that same conversation that we were having earlier. Like,
Ubisoft.
dude, does sales really translate to cultural impact?
Yes, they do. Did you guys hear? Is there anything else you want to talk about Cyberpunk?
Real quick, Cyberpunk Edge Runners dropped today.
Tell
what I've
me
heard.
what that is.
Well, we've talked about it already, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just kidding.
Moving on.
Moving on.
It's anime.
Dumbass.
It's an anime that's based. It's an anime that's based in
my
the
life.
canon of the
game.
Cyberpunk of the game. So everything that happens in this anime actually happens in the same world that your V partakes in.
Yeah, and you can find
You can
Easter
find
eggs
his
they added.
jacket and stuff, and so it's getting rave reviews. I plan on watching it to completion, hopefully soon.
And it's made by
You guys didn't see this, but Billy made a hand gesture when I said that.
completion.
You guys
I
can
am
guess what that
satisfied.
hand gesture.
Did you
So
guys?
we'll talk about that. But
Yeah.
I think that's it on Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Last topic, Elden Ring. Tokyo Game Show's coming up. I think actually the 15th to the 18th of September, and they have From Software has put in a mystery slot, so we could have DLC news for you guys next episode. What are you
I'm just
laughing at?
imagining it's a mystery slot and it's they just show up and say
A mobile game.
Hey, here's our next game. It's their mech game. I forget what it's called.
or
Yeah.
they just say
Armor Core.
we just
Armored
came
Core. Yeah, thank you.
we just came to say that we appreciate all you fans buying the Elden Ring.
Wow, we're so blown away by you guys. We're not going to do anything. We're disbanding the game. But we just love that.
Stay classy. Then leaves.
I don't know. This is the only place I'd ever seen it, but I watched a video and it was talking about someone had mined the files of Elden Ring, in the recent batch. And there's evidence of a ranked PvP progression system.
Huh.
And you could kind of like Dark Souls 2 where you kind of band with a certain guild,
Okay.
you would like be part of the Volcano Manor or like Vare's clan, whatever the hell that's called, the Bloodsuckers, whatever.
Bloodsuckers.
And you could like join those different factions or whatever. And
The Bloods and the Crips.
there's like files in the game where like it shows like, oh, Volcano Manor rank up or whatever the.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still exciting, but I'd be just beyond thrilled, and I would finish to completion if they announced the
DLC.
Barbarians of the Badlands full-fledged
Bob.
expansion.
Elden Ring Bob.
I'm down for it. Elden Ring, Bob.
Bob the Builder.
Yes, we can.
it?
That's from software. Like it's not the big ocean shallow.
It's Bob the Builder.
We can build it. Yes, we can.
Okay, I was
All right,
If you build it, nerds will come.
dude. And they fucking built it.
They did.
All right. Well, that just about sums us up there. Dylan, why don't you tell them where they can find us?
They can find us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
And you look us up, follow us, like us, subscribe,
Smash it.
smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and then
All the stereotypes.
Just
you know,
smash,
after
you know?
you smash it, gently put it back together. Because we want to support these websites that allow you to view us. So
Don't be violent.
don't
All
be
right?
violent.
Let's not go there.
We're anti-violent. But yeah, you can find us on all those social media and content providers.
We're out there. We're out there.
What a phrase. All that social media content.
and providers.
You know how we do in the Katie ratio. All right, we don't take anything out. We run it as is.
And that was perfect, Billy.
All right.
I'm so proud of it.
Remember, with a good KD, you get the dub.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.